I would love for Intel to bring in an HEDT competitor that's scrappy and forces AMD to reevaluate this pro sort of workstation only approach to the Threadripper platform, because for enthusiasts, Threadripper was so cool. There were flaws. Okay, there were flaws. Threadripper was limited to, oh man, what were we stuck at? It was either, I think it was 256 gigs of memory, and on a 64 gigabyte processor, that is really not enough. And so not having proper support for like registered DIMMs or load reduced DIMMs was a real bummer. And Threadripper, yeah, probably makes more sense in terms of positioning, especially now that there's a 16-core regular desktop Ryzen that once we get DDR5 is probably going to be capable of like 128 gigs of RAM. Like now that we have that, honestly, yeah, it's probably not that necessary. But it was just AMD being a bro because they were the underdog. And then as soon as they're not the underdog, they're like, we don't really have to like bro anymore. We realistically, we can't make enough processors for how much demand there is anyway. So let's just not worry about being a bro. And I wish AMD just would continue to be a bro here. That's all I have to say about that.
You're the one that always tells me that they won't be. Because like when AMD first started coming back, I was like, yeah, like the good one's getting good again, and you were like, well, not really. It's just good that there's more it's good that there's more competition, but like
AMD's not your friend.
No,
it's that simple.
Companies are not your friend.
Intel's not your friend. AMD's not your friend.
Nope.
There are people there that could be your friend.
Yeah,
I know some super cool people at pretty much every major tech company.
I don't personally know anyone at AMD, but I know some people, and I've trashed on Intel a lot, and I know some people at Intel that I'm friends with for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And people that not just you could be friends with, but people that actually really care.
Oh, yeah.
Like really care about the product, really care about the enthusiast community.
And even when Intel was in like the worst of the dumps, there was people that worked there that really cared.
Absolutely.
There's also a lot of people that work there.
Danny V8 asks, isn't LTT a company? No. Linus Media Group Incorporated is a company. And as a company, it has actually, in some cases, different objectives and a different agenda than I personally do or than Luke personally does.
It's true.
Like LMG Incorporated's only job is to make enough money that it can pay all of its staff, including me, and so that it can reinvest in its own business so it can continue to grow. That is like the capitalist definition of a company. It's a corporate entity. It's its own legal entity. It's actually, even though I am the primary shareholder along with my wife Yvonne, it has its own reason for being that is separate from us. So I might be super chill, but I might disagree with Linus Media Group Incorporated entity's agenda, and we might have to find a way to reconcile how I feel about a topic versus how Linus Media Group Incorporated might feel about a topic. So I have to put myself in different shoes. For example, we have a video upcoming that I just recorded prior to the show on the removal of the YouTube dislike counter. And Linus Media Group and I were sort of conflicted over one of the things that I wanted to talk about in the video, but Linus Media Group wasn't a big fan of.
That's a good way of saying that.
So one of the things that we address in the video about YouTube's removal of the dislike button is how to restore it. So there's a Google Chrome extension. Actually, there's extensions for a number of popular browsers that allows you to restore the dislike counter to YouTube. And the way it works is pretty interesting. We get into that. But what that doesn't allow you to do is restore the dislike counter in a YouTube app on your mobile device. You could use a mobile browser to browse YouTube, but I think that I don't probably have to tell you guys that that's
use case is not great.
Pretty crappy experience.
Yeah.
So you could use a browser with the extension installed on your mobile device, but the way to do it, not yet, but maybe in the future with an app, is with YouTube Vanced. So YouTube Vanced is an application that circumvents some of the ways that Linus Media Group Incorporated makes money. And that negatively impacts Linus Media Group, its employees, its collaborators. And Linus Media Group wasn't a big fan of me talking about it. But Linus Sebastian, the tech personality who wants to make you guys as thoroughly informed on this subject as possible, felt like, well, any conversation about this is not going to be complete without mentioning this potential upcoming collaboration between the Return YouTube Dislike extension and YouTube Vanced. So I'm in this awkward position where either I have to harm my own business or I have to harm my own reputation by sending you guys into a rabbit hole where you find something ultimately and you go, hey, he didn't mention this. He must have known about this. What's up with that? So I won. So just like when we did the video on Pi-hole, we're just going to be like, yep, that's a thing. It's a thing that exists, and Linus Media Group can suck it.
I used to be super, super, super against ads and videos. You probably remember that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just entirely unsustainable to not have ads. And like it makes sense that that's the standard for everybody now. And you just need to do it to survive. Makes sense.
So that's what we're doing. That's how we're going with it. Good old YouTube. I've never actually tried it. If the dislike counter comes to it though, I'd be tempted. So I don't even know if there's a way to configure Vanced, for example, to see ads so that you can support creators in that way.
Don't know.
I don't know.
What you could do is this
What?
is weird. I don't even know if I like it. But you could get like YouTube Premium and then use Vanced.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. I saw someone on Floatplane being like, I use Vanced. I subscribe on Floatplane.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that helps us, but you got to remember there's a lot of other content creators out there